Hello, everybody. This is Greg, the dog-faced bastard Greg Murray, or the DFB Greg Murray if you're family friendly. I've also wrestled under the name the Moondog Greg Murray. I still wrestle at some places under that name, mainly POW and UWE. But everywhere else, I am the DFB, and that's probably going to be the permanent name going forward. Though I did promise Jimmy I'd still be Moondog, so I'll be Moondog at least at POW for a little longer. So, I celebrated 100 matches recently, and I felt, or rather thought the idea, what if I read and told stories about matches that spark memory, and just speak from the heart, all telling, that sort of deal. Some stories will be fun, some not so fun, but especially with these first 30, 40 matches with PPW, because it didn't end too well there. So, to give a brief little history, I started, there's actually a vlog series on this channel you can watch of my upstart in PPW. I have no athletic background. I had no athletic background, now I have wrestling. So I had no athletic background. I was 300 pounds, didn't work out. So my first day was brutal. Very brutal. Had no idea how to breathe properly while working out. Didn't know how to do any of that. It was clear as day. Everybody was like, this guy ain't going to last 2 weeks. 2 weeks went by, I'm still there. And I was hitting the gym hard as I fucking could. Or so I thought. And then a wrestler by the name of Uncle Nate had a come to Jesus meeting with me and other trainees who weren't wrestling yet, saying, you guys are out of shape. You're not working out. And if you are, your workouts are bullshit. So, up the workouts, and just kept going and going, posting all the videos online, posting all the videos on my social media, which really all it was just I wanted the wrestlers to see it, because I wanted to see them that no, I'm taking this seriously. I want to learn. I want to get better. And athletic wise, probably better, but still so much to learn. There's still, to this day, even after 100 matches, still so much to learn. So, finally, after, I'd say 6 months of training, I actually technically debuted in December. For my first match, it was under a mask. I was called Double Zero. Randy, to this day, Rocket Randy, to this day, still has mask characters. Like, they'll throw green guys under masks so they can get some work in, put the guy over and such. Before debuting whatever character they're coming out with, which from what I understand they're not even doing characters anymore. They're just throwing guys in tights and throwing them out there. Which, I'll leave it at that. But I debuted against Eddie the Bruiser Cruz. And it was heavily agented. Pretty much Randy called all of our spots. It was like 5 minutes. But while it's still technically my first match, usually I tell people my first match was with Poncho, because that's when I was myself, Moondog. I wasn't trying too hard to be a character, which I guess I still, even then, if I look back then, I could probably still see that I was trying too hard. But, yeah. So, this Double Zero thing lasted for about 6 matches. Wrestling Eddie Bruiser Cruz, Not Bad Chad, Jose Acosta, Not Bad Chad again. I remember Chad was going for a flatliner, and I thought he was going for a rock bottom. And, or was it the other way around? But I was going the other way, he was going one way. And honestly, had Chad just held it, it would have been, it would have looked fucked up, but it would have looked like a move. But Chad picked me back up and took me how I was supposed to go. I wrestled in a tag against Ventura and Charlie Hustle, and oh my god, getting in the ring to break up a pin, I tripped. Boom, just slammed right down. And these matches were filmed for the YouTube channel. PPW for the longest time had not the longest time, I think it only lasted like 6 months. They had a YouTube series, and they'd film some matches during practice, which sucked when you were wanting to have practice matches, but now you're in front of a camera. Which I guess in a way, yeah, that's good practice, because no, you have to get it perfect just right then and there. Or at least do it as best you can right then and there. Finally, I don't have dates for the PPW stuff because when I made this, it was right after I left. So I wrote down every PPW match I had. I went on their Pivot Share page and I typed in my name. So all matches were up there. I remember the YouTube ones off the top of my head because some of them weren't posted. And some of them weren't even on the streaming service. So I debuted in an Armageddon match against as Moondog for my 7th match against Poncho. And had my first match. I watched it back. It's terrible. When I was in PPW, my offense couldn't break an egg. Randy didn't teach strikes. Didn't really show us how to do strikes. He just wanted us to wrestle. So guys who have been there for years throwing strikes were probably learning it on their own. You know, they didn't. When I left there and I got with Boz, who is a master at strikes, taught me how to properly do strikes. And I like to think I have a decent punch. So we had a rematch against Poncho. I forgot the finish. We were going to the finish. I'm like, I don't remember the finish. And Poncho's just yelling at me, the finish, the finish, the finish. I don't fucking remember. Finally, I think it clicked. Get the back. Poncho's pissed off at me. I'm just like, I don't know, dude. I'm sorry. I forgot, you know. Poncho calmed down, and I apologized to him. I was like, dude, it's okay. You're just starting. And Esther was sitting there, too. And he's like, yeah, dude, you just started. It's fine. It's like, all right, cool. There was an 8-man tag that I don't remember. There was a match with Matt Vine, who I fucked up, and he beat the shit out of me. Both matches I had with him, I fucked up. He beat the shit out of me. It wasn't fun. It was bullying. And I'm sure someday I'll share a locker room with Vine again, and I'm sure we'll talk. But it wasn't just that. I don't really associate with him anymore. There was some online social media stuff between us, and I don't really want. I'm not in a hurry to talk to him. I don't think he's in a hurry to talk to me either. So maybe someday, but I don't know if that's anytime soon. Let me take off these headsets. I don't even need these on, actually. But yeah, beat the shit out of me when I fucked up, making me fuck up more. Because now I'm fucking freaking out because this dude's kicking the shit out of me. I can't do anything about it. I am happy to say that if that ever happened again with anybody else, I'm fighting back. Because I've had guys who snug me, and I'm like, all right, snug back. And then we get to the back. You good, brother? You good, brother? Yep, all right. Move on. I don't mind getting physical now, but like, I think what he did crossed the line. That's what I have to say about my matches with Matt Vine. I wrestled Sem, who Sem is really good. He is a future. He is a future. Problem is he's still a PPW. And Randy doesn't let you wrestle anywhere else. You have to leave just to wrestle anywhere else. Which is a shame. Because I think if Sem was able to go out more and grow, he'd be on everybody's radar. He'd have an AEW dark match by now, but he's stuck. Same with Jose Acosta, you know. And I love these guys to death, and I'm not talking shit about y'all. So I hope that I'm not offending you by saying that, but that's just my thoughts. I teamed with American Beard to take on Chase Gosling and Poncho. I had hurt my back because I had a match with Inestra. No, that's not how I hurt my back, but this is how I'll get into it. I had a match with Inestra. I suplexed Inestra. The timing was off, and Inestra bumped into pieces. Hurt his hip flexors. Next class, Randy's like, you hurt my fucking guy, blah, 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 blah. You might have costed me my tag title match, blah, 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 blah. And he goes, so we're doing fucking suplexes. I'm like, okay. Got hurt during this. Got hurt. I saw that as karma for me. So I'm like, I think it was a freak accident, but if Randy thinks it was my fault, and if it was my fault, it was my fault, and I got karma for it. So that's all that matters, I guess. So I hurt my back. And they put me in a tag, and Chase is like, you think we can get one bump out of you? I'd be like, I think I can, yeah. Adrenaline kicked in, and I was feeling it. It was fun, from what I remember. Then I had that rematch with Vine. I had a match with Chase Gosling one-on-one. That was fun, because Chase really taught you something. Chase is one of those guys who he doesn't really call a lot. Just calls the finish and probably the cutoffs. Go from there. No, call the rest out there. There was a 4-way. Me, Sem, Psycho Spawn, and Matt Vine. Thankfully, Vine didn't kick the shit out of me in that match. I think I was only in there for like a few minutes, a few seconds, if that. I'm trying to remember if it's that match or if it's another match. I was in multi-mans with Vine and nothing went wrong. Probably because with the multi-mans, I knew I don't know shit. I'm just going to do what I can, get the fuck out of there if I can. You know, take the move, just get out of there. Now I'm more like, all right, let's try to get more time out of this. I can add more of this. You know, now I have confidence to do shit. Oh, and I see more Armageddon matches here. So circle back. An Armageddon match is pretty much a lumberjack gauntlet match. So after you pin the guy, someone that's on the rings on the outside jumps in as the next guy. Had a singles match with Spawn that didn't go too well. It was fine. I'm sure if I watched it back, I'd be like, no, it's not fine. I just kept fucking up spots. I got nervous. And just felt, okay, this is a big opportunity to wrestle Spawn, because like him and I were close at the time. I felt like we were both graduating members, even though that's not how this school worked. That's not how PPW worked. It was just, you came in, you trained, you debuted eventually. But I always felt me, Spawn, and this other guy who's not even there anymore. And no need to say his name, because, well, when I left, people picked sides. He picked his. So, fuck him. We had All Japan Battle Royals, which were pretty much like, all that was is like you pin the guy. Which, if you watch an All Japan Battle Royal, they still threw guys over the top. But according to Randy, no, you gotta dog pile on the guy in a Battle Royal, blah, blah, blah. Like, all right, whatever, cool. There was a match, me and Eddie versus 010 Gold. It's terrible. It's my first ever win in pro wrestling, and the match fucking sucks. It's bad. I'm sure at the time I was happier than pig and shit. I was like, this was awesome. You know, it was my first win. I felt like I really worked hard and earned it, because I was putting everybody over beforehand, which is fine. I didn't give a shit. I didn't give a fuck about wins or losses. Randy thought I did, but I sure as fuck did. I don't. I really don't. I don't care. As long as I can have a good match and do what I can. Will I question some things later? Maybe. But, no. I trust the bookers. Which is a dangerous thing to do, but you know. I was in a tag team with the American Beard, who I mentioned earlier, but we were officially a tag team. It was, by the time we had a name, we were split up. I called us the Hounds of America. But again, we got split up as soon as I came up with that name. I don't know if that was intentional or what, but, you know, PPW's tag roster always lacked, because it was always put together guys, or they just wouldn't have more than 2 tag teams, and 9 times out of 10 they were having tag title matches every week, having the same match. No, it was always Vine versus Jose. It was always Chase and Sem versus Charlie and fucking Ventura every fucking week, with a roster of 10 guys. So you're seeing the same match every fucking week. So me being green, I went in there, and yeah, I was a fan, huge fan, read everything, heard stories, things to look out for. But I never acted like I knew it all. There's guys who come in all the time at CSW who think they know it all, and they don't. You're training to wrestle. Yeah, great fucking yeah, you got history up here, but that doesn't translate to actually wrestling. It could inspire wrestling, but you still gotta learn how to do it right. You know. So I didn't say a fucking word, but I was seeing. I knew I wasn't gonna be there forever. I knew I was gonna leave. Apparently, a lot of guys knew they were gonna leave, but they just didn't. And yeah, some of them, like I said, they were rah PPW, and those same people are gone. Some people are still there, but there's other people who are not even there anymore. So it's funny. It's very funny. But me and Justin fought Spawn in a 2-on-1. We fought Evil Russians, which were guys under masks. And then we fought Evil Chinese people, which were guys under masks. One of those guys being Casey James, who is from Belvedere, made it to WWE. Great guy. Felt like I learned a lot. I learned, you know. And I wish I could wrestle him again. I wish I could wrestle him now, because I feel like we could have so much fun. But, you know, yeah. Whatever. There were some Battle Royals in there. My first title match, I challenged for the Challenge Pro Cup, which was a title which was a 3-way title. It was me, Sam, and Ventura, and we didn't call anything. We just went out there. We just knew the finish. Which, anybody watching this or listening is going, what? You didn't call a 3-way? No, just looked for fucking times to jump in and went from there. Another terrible match. My 29th match. Me, Not Bad Chad, and Eddie Bruiser Cruz versus 01, Russian Assassin 1, and Scuba Sam. Scuba Sam was a rib on Charlie, because Charlie Hustle was under the mask, and Estra was under the Russian mask, and my tag partner's under the fucking Japanese mask. And I'm just like, okay. Eddie graduated high school, which Eddie was telling us every week he can't fucking stand school, he's sick of it, and so when he finally graduated, it was a huge deal, not just for him, but like everybody was so fucking happy for him. And that was the highlight. He comes out in his entrance, he's wearing the cap and gown, he goes, I graduated, whips the shit off, and the bell rings. It wasn't good. Charlie Hustle wanted to have a fucking wrestling match in a 6-man. Like, ground stuff. Chaining. In a 6-man tag, where we gotta get boom, boom, tag in, tag out, tag in, tag out, tag in, tag out. So Charlie just destroyed the pace. And the match sucked. We get to the back, and that's just like, I didn't like that fucking match. And I'm like, oh no, what did I do now? I'm like, Vic, was there anything I could do? Like, anything I could change? He goes, no, dude, it wasn't you. It wasn't you. He wanted to say it, but Charlie was over there. He goes, no, dude, it wasn't you. Don't worry about it. Fucking... we had more tag matches, and then this is where everything went off the rails. It was, around this time, it was me versus 01. It was Ventura under a mask. It was Pride Month. So, I wore my Pride bandanas because I'm pansexual. And it's Pride Month, and I wanted to rock it and represent, because Randy was all about representing. He had Inestra on top, and Inestra's Mexican, Sensei's Puerto Rican. There's a guy named DeMarcio who was black. Randy was really forward thinking in putting, and not just because of their race, but because they can fucking go. So he wanted representation. I wear a gay flag one week against 0-1. It was Ventura under a mask, and we had a fun. From what I remember, it was fun. My fucking bandana came off. Ventura came up, grabbed it, which I guess some people will find that tasteless. I'm on the ground looking up like, you fucking genius, because he got heat. He got fucking heat, you know. So I was like, yes. And then when I beat him, I got a pop, you know. I'm not saying do that today. I'm not saying do that all the time, but Ventura thought on his feet. He thought, I'm going to get fucking heat. And he did it. He got heat under that mask. And what more could you ask for? Apparently I was asking a lot because the very next week, and around this time I was also fucking up spots a lot. I was under pressure because Randy, for some reason, was riding my ass on everything. Everything. He was just sick of seeing me. And I didn't understand because I literally cornered him like, what do you want? What do you want from me? What can I work on? Oh, we'll talk about it later. Okay. Or keep doing what you're doing. It's not making you happy, so obviously what I'm doing is not working. Before this match with Chase, I see him like talking to him, he's fucking up a lot, blah, blah, this, that, and the other. And he's fucking up all the time. Fucking if he starts fucking up, call it. He's thinking he's fucking quiet, but he's yelling at me and he's fucking pointing at me, talking shit. Have the match. Fucking go for a pin when it was supposed to be the double down. That's it. And fucking Chase got pissed off, shot me off the rope, hit me with the finish. 1, 2, 3. Before then, I'm wearing the Pride bandana, and Randy goes, you should ask me before you put that shit on. You should. I understand representation, but you're rubbing it in everybody's face. It's fucking crushed. Ruined my match because I was in my head. Went to dinner and Randy's like, I didn't mean it like this. Because he knew what he said was fucked up. Kept putting over guys. I had a match with Pancho. In fact, my final match was with Pancho. No, I got one more fucking story to tell. My 38th match, it's me and Justin under 0 masks versus Charlie Hustle and Jesse Danger. We were given 5 minutes. It was going to be like a quick squash match. Like, we'll get something in, but then the faces go over. Cool. Charlie Hustle calls everything fucking slow. And he's like, and when you're heat, grab the rope. And we're doing this, and this, and this. And in my head, I'm like, this is 5 fucking minutes. And at that time, I'm like, this is 5 fucking minutes. I'm like 7 months in. I'm like, this is going to be easy. Why are you overcomplicating it? Goes to Randy, and Randy thinks I'm bitching because of losing. For some reason, Randy had it in his head that I was bitching to the guys about me not getting anything in. Because apparently he wanted squash matches, which I'm just like, I didn't say a fucking thing. Because if I said anything to these guys, they would have kicked me in the nuts and rolled me up. That's it. And they should, you know, because who am I? I'm not saying this shit. They want to give me stuff. Randy in his head thought I was fucking politicking and shit. I'm like, what is there to politic, first of all? And second of all, I'm not doing shit. I'm doing what I'm told. Or I'm trying to. But every week I go in going, what am I going to fuck up this time? What am I going to fuck up this time? Fucking... That tag match got fucked. Because it wasn't what Randy wanted. Randy interrupted the match. Start calling spots. Everybody, all the fans are confused. Kills the match. Totally kills the match. Says it was the shits. Whatever. Then my final match for PPW was my 40th match. Against Pancho. And it's on YouTube. You can watch it. The entire time Randy buries me on commentary. Buries me. Talk about I would have thought this would have been a squash match. Yeah, my offense sucked. You wouldn't teach me how to fucking lay it in. You would just say, you gotta lay it in, and just not elaborate, and then get pissed off. Oh, we'll talk about this another time. Told me it was the shits. You fucked up the finish. When Poncho admitted to me, I fucked up, I didn't hook your arm right. But I wasn't going to bury Poncho, because I'm not like that. I said, all right. Went to class next week. Went right up to Randy. I'm taking a break. Hugged Randy, shook Casey's hand. I think I hugged Vine, left. And I wanted to take a break, see what it was. Am I burnt out on wrestling or am I burnt out on PPW? I think you know the answer. Called up CSW because PPW sure like to talk shit about CSW. They love to shit on CSW. All because Vine fucking left on bad terms or got kicked out on bad terms. Randy didn't like them because they ran Woodstock and Randy thinks we're in the territories. So all I have to say is this. Fuck you. And fuck you for burying everybody that left on your shitty podcast. And fuck you for treating Casey James like shit on that podcast. And if you're going to say, oh, I'm saying all this shit online, I'll say it to your face. I remember the address. Fuck you, Randy. I'm glad I left because I actually know how to wrestle now because of Steve Boz, Axel Rico, and Hades. All you taught me was to bump like a jobber and treat me like shit and wonder and not look yourself in the mirror and wonder maybe it's me after Anestra leaves, after Pancho leaves, after all these people leave. But instead you blame us and you blame Anestra rather than looking yourself in the mirror and asking yourself, why are these people leaving my promotion? Fuck you. So, I switched to CSW, have the shittiest first day. They realized, oh boy, we have a lot to work on. So, I made my debut for CSW in the Futures Battle Royal. August 20th, 2021. For my 41st match. First match outside, it was a Battle Royal. Get to the back, Boz goes, we gotta work on your punches. Yes. I wouldn't wrestle for another month, and it'd be another Battle Royal in CSW. Wrestled later that I would be hitting up places. Like I hit up Crash Acid Wrestling to help out in Indiana. I helped out Northland and Woodstock. I fucking did what was his name? Nacho Clown's fucking merch. I was trying to pay dues and break into this new environment. And after I left, people were hitting me up left and right from PPW going, you left. What do you mean you left? I left. Sorry, it took me 9 months. Took you a few years. Though some of them, to their credit, were like, no, I've always wanted to leave. I just didn't know when was the right time. I'm like, now. And Esther left. And my first singles match outside of PPW was against him, Northland, pre-show. It was 5 minutes. And Nestor was like, what the fuck, 5 minutes? Because, like, PPW always gave us longer matches. So Nestor was like, what the fuck are we going to do in 5 minutes? We got a lot of notes saying we didn't work the crowd. A lot to work on. Little things. Other than it was fine for what it was, but you didn't work the crowd and this, that, and the other. So we had to learn, all right. You got to learn how to fucking work short matches, how to work long matches, how to work those in-betweens. It's a new process, new learning process. Even Anestra, who was in for years by this point. Did another Battle Royal. My 45th match was where... my 45th and 46th match was where I learned the importance of studying who you're wrestling for and where to go. I got booked at our hit up promotion I hit up Powerhouse Wrestling Extreme, PWX. Ran by a promoter named Man Beast, who was a pro wrestler for many, many years. I guess he had a WCW stint, did a few squash matches. Was it a few squash matches? What I wasn't aware was they were on the outs with CSW over alleged allegations and people fucking each other over, from what I understand. So when I was asking, I got an opportunity to wrestle here, and everyone's like, what? Where? So I asked around, and they're like, yeah, not good. So I'm like, boy. I was in a Rumble, and then I was in a fucking match with Tyler Bodine. Got whipped with a bull rope, fucking sucked. After the second whip, I'm like, I'm rolling out. He hits me one more. I'm like, you fucker. All right, I'm done. Fuck you. Rolled right out. Like, god damn, man. That sucked. That was my first time as a heel, though. First time as a heel. And I was a shitty heel. I still need to work on my heel stuff because I'm mostly a face. But it wasn't until recently where I got confident in my heel work. So I was pretty much told don't go back. Beast would try to hit me up. I wouldn't respond because I was told don't go back. So more on him later. I made my debut for my first outside of Illinois show, Crash Tested Wrestling, Hollow Pursuits, October 24th, 2021 in Hobart, Indiana. Taking on C-Red, who wasn't sure who C-Red was, and then everyone's telling me about Red. He goes, oh yeah, he's been in the business for like 18 years. He's in Windy City Pro, and I was like, holy fuck, okay. And C-Red put me over. And I'll always appreciate him for that because he didn't have to. He could have fucking won. I had no problem losing. Brubaker no-showed. So I was Nick Brubaker's replacement. So I appreciated that Red was like, yeah, I'll still put him over. I'm like, okay. And Red was explaining, he goes, yeah, because I'm turning heel. This is what makes me turn heel. I'm like, sounds good to me. I'm just a green guy going, yes, sir. Absolutely, sir. I left PPW at the worst time because I left in August, which by August everything's booked. Everybody's booked out for the rest of the year. So to squeeze onto a card, you're probably getting a battle royal, or you got lucky because somebody couldn't make it, whether they no-showed or they got hurt or they're sick. You got lucky. So because had one last battle royal in CSW to end 2021 in November. And then my final match was Rockford Damage Inc., Toys for Tots. When I found out there was a Rockford show, I was upset because I didn't reach out to them. So I hit up Steve Eisman, asked to look into it, and then he said Jimmy Blaze is the booker. So I hit up Jimmy Blaze. I said, hi. I think I hit up Jimmy Blaze. I know we talked. At the very least, we talked at the show. Got to know him. And, hit it off from there. I think someone couldn't make it. Had my gear. So I tagged with Axel Abreu to take on Chase Stevens and Micah Taylor. Chase Stevens, of course, of the Naturals in TNA, and I think WWE. So I was like, in my mind, I was like, holy shit, this is a guy who made it on TV. I'm like, hell yeah. Wasn't good. Wasn't good, and I won't say who, out of respect, but somebody in that match, and it wasn't me, had a little too much beforehand. And I had no idea because I was just so fucking nervous. And then afterwards, someone tells me, you didn't know he was drunk? I'm like, how? I don't know, man. What? I'm sorry. I didn't know. And like, yeah, that match was terrible. I'm like, yeah, I know. Yeah, I felt it too. I'm like, this is bad. But I debuted for POW January of 2022 for my 50th match. Was helping with setup. Jimmy came up to me, said, I can put you in the Battle Royal, if you want some ring time. And I said, sure. I was supposed to be a face. Trevor Blanchard, though, are you a heel or face? I'm like, I don't really know. He goes, all right, you're going to be a heel. Because how POW does it is the heels start in the ring, the faces circle, and they dive in. And go from there. I was in the ring already. And Jimmy's like, well, I wanted him to be a face. But I guess we'll work with this. So, whoops. Whoopsies. I had first CSW match January was, of course, Battle Royal. Made the T-Woods debut for POW. T-Woods is pretty much what Northland is for CSW, where it's a lot of the students are more greener guys, I guess. But like a couple of them aren't that green. They're like a few years in. But that was pretty much the POW show for guys like me, so I needed to be on those shows. I took on Nikki Vendetta, who we blew a spot. We had this idea where he climbs up, and the ceiling's so fucking low, so we can only do so much. He was going to hop up, give me an arm drag with both my arms, because we were doing the test of strength shit. I think he went backwards, and we landed wrong, and I'm like, fuck! And I fucking subbed to the corner, and he's like, sorry, brother, kick! I'm like, oh, fuck, kick! Oh, shit! And then we go to the next thing. He gets to me and goes, oh, sorry about that, man. I was like, no problem. I know why you did it. I knew he meant well. I was just like, oh, shit, we fucked up. Yeah. And then the rest of the match went fine, honestly. And then for my 54th, made my debut in a Lucha Libre promotion, LLT, Lucha Libre Total. Which I found out me getting these bookings was stirring up some people at PPW. They're like, wow, how the fuck's he getting these bookings? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I reach out. I help out. I pay due. I'm just fucking doing what I can to get booked. You know? I know I'm lucky to be there. You know? So I went there. Nick Diamond couldn't make it because he got hurt in a ladder match the night before. So it was me, Eric Schultz, Cody James, and Chris Miller taking on Mateo Valentine, Hot Rod Daddy Andy. Fuck, I missed a match because he said how many matches. He said I was in a few of those matches. I forgot that was one. Hot Rod Daddy Andy, Keelan Warndorf. I can't remember. I can't remember his last name. And Joey Mayberry. Fucking, I loved because Keelan had it was easy. It was an 8-man tag. Well, putting them together is always a clusterfuck, but usually it's like, okay, just remember my spots and such. And I thought it was fun. I had fun. I bumped on the outside. I popped the faces in their corner, going, what the fuck, he just bumped. And I got up on the apron, and Miller's like, that wasn't necessary. I'm like, just having fun, man. Just being a goofball heel. It was, from what I remember, it was fine. Then we Northland came back from a hiatus, and I took on Metalhead, who, that match was fucking, it was fun. Like, Metalhead put it all together, and I was like, that was when my confidence was really kicking in, because I'm like, what I'm doing is working. You know, I'm getting better, and I'm being told that's perfect, you know? Little things, but other than that, it was fine. It was good. Fusion Wrestling, 56 match. That was Doug Simmons' promotion. For their February show, I was booked to take on AZZ member Hans Carden, who AZZ, I clicked with them right away at practice. I fucking love those guys. They're awesome. Gonzo, Hans, and Charlie. Austin Adams, Charlie. So I got to wrestle Hans Carden in a singles match. And I love watching Hans' entrance because I'm such a nerd for the old SmackDown vs. Raw games. And I always loved seeing, like, you know those tag guys? Like Lance Cade and fucking Trevor Murdoch. I always loved seeing their singles entrance because they're just doing their part of their tag entrance but by themselves. That's what it reminded me of Hans just coming out, making his own singles, doing what he would do in a fucking tag entrance, but by himself. I remember the match being fun. I was nervous as fuck, though. I was fucking nervous. I don't know. I was just like, I want this to go well. I want this to go well. And it went well, you know. Nothing got messed up. It was in the Galley Lucha Arena in Villa Park. And I believe they used that arena to train in. Because one of the corners had fucking sandpaper, I think, for to do like high spots, you know, to grip your foot so you don't slip, and you know, do your shit. When I learned of this, and I'm looking at that corner, I'm like, I'm gonna get thrown in that corner. I just know it. I just fucking know it. Sure enough, got thrown in it twice. If you watch it back, and I had like sandpaper burn. It wasn't too bad. It was just like a little burn. But I was like, fuck! Fucking knew it! God damn it! Rockford came back for their Valentine's show, 57th match. Jimmy Blaze and Steve. Steve was having a podcast talking about hyping up the show. I'm listening to it, and I just hear, and Moondog Murray is going to be Cupid and pass out roses to the first 50 women. And I'm like, I'm what? And I hit up Jimmy. I'm like, hey, so I'm passing out roses. He goes, yeah. Do you have angel wings? I'm like, in my head, I'm like, no, but I might be able to find some on Amazon. He was like, okay, let me know. So, click, bought. Sent him the screenshot. He goes, Jimmy's like, hell yeah, bro. Give the receipt to Steve. I'm like, all right, sounds good. So I dressed up like Cupid. I think for Valentine's Day this year, I'll definitely put out a shirt or an 8x10 of that, like the Cupid. It's fucking. Everybody was like, are you fucking kidding me? Looking at me. They're like, holy shit, dude, what the hell are you doing? I'm like, I think it's funny. It is. It was great. And then it led into our match with the Masked Marauder. He calls me out, say, passing out these roses to these stupid women, like, because he's got the Cuban accent, and my music hits. I did have to draw a line. We're like, I'm not wrestling in that. Mostly because I don't want to break it. I still have them somewhere in this room. I have like a box of all my ripped jeans, because I ripped a lot of jeans. I still do. And like I keep all my wrestling stuff, like because I might sell it someday, because I know some people sell their old gear, like ring-worn stuff. I mean, hey, fuck it. So I keep it all. So we go. So fucking. I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah. Masked Marauder had the match. What I love is he calls a back elbow spot, and I'm thinking he wants me in the corner, so I'm in the corner. Gives me a back elbow, runs, second back elbow, and then we get to the back. Goes, why'd you go to the corner? I'm like, I thought you wanted me there. He's like, no, I wanted you to come off the ropes. I'm like, all right, no. I don't know. I don't remember what happened, but all I remember is he shoot me off, and then he shoot me off, and then I fucking jumped and did that reverse where like he was shooting me off, or I was shooting him off. I don't. We got turned around, and I got turned around. Not we. I did. I ended up in the corner, but again, unless you knew the spot, I don't think you would have noticed. But a few months later, he's like, hey, can we practice that spot that you messed up? I'm like, sure. It's just simple. Hit the ropes, shoot off, back elbow. I'm like, I know how to take that. He's like, I'm like, and then that's when it clicked. Like, wait a minute, was that what you're trying to do? He goes, yeah. I'm like, wow, I really fucked that up. Because I'm in the corner when I'm taking the elbow. I'm like, this is great. This is awesome. I'm remembering shit. So I had another Battle Royal in CSW, then CTW came back, took on Luke Savage. A fan from the Indiana area likes to shit talk wrestlers on Facebook and message them. Hits me up, tells me, "Look, you ain't beating Luke Savage," because I cut a promo saying we're going to beat his ass or something. You ain't going to beat Luke Savage. He's going to break your hand, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, aha. So I hit up Luke. At the show. talking to Luke. I'm like, hey, man, I got this message from, you know who. He was like, oh, fuck. I'm like, yeah, work my hand tonight. He goes, I don't really know how to work the hand. I'm like, fuck. I don't know if it was like, I don't know, or if I'm not comfortable with doing that. I'm like, oh, that sucks. Oh, well. But I was his worst nightmare because, like, he wanted to do all kinds of flipping shit. And I'm just like, I told him, like, no, there's going to be a tag match with AJ Flyer in it. And I think they're going to do crazy shit. So let's save your flying to the end. Because I was putting him over. It was going to be his first win in CTW. And so he's like, okay, fuck. And like, he was like, all right, I'll listen to you, man. Fuck it. There's 8 people at the show. None of them cared. It was hard. I'm like, fuck, man. And I was fucking shitting on him. I'm like, you fucking bitch. No, I didn't say fuck, but I was like, you won't even cheer him. You won't even cheer this man. You know, egging him on. They were like, oh, hey, fuck you. Yeah, come on, Luke. No, they were like, I'm like, wow, that sucks. But so, like, I think we were supposed to go a certain time, but there came to a point, I'm like, we're going home. That we're done. I'm like, I can't get him. I mean, they popped a little bit for the finish. Cool. Get to the, and I don't know, we were like, I remember I was, the whole thing was, it's Luke Savage debuted on a losing streak. He's trying to get his first win, and I remember yelling, goes, he ain't gonna get his first win over the Moondog Greg Murray. Gets his win. And I'm thinking, oh, cool, this is going to be like a little program. Luke gets kicked out of the promotion for not helping with setup and tear down. I'm just like, that sucks. I had to get that match from Kenton because at the time CTW was doing a weekly show, and usually they post your match there. But I hit up Steve Kenton, who did the filming. He was like, hey, can I have that match with Luke? Because I know they're not going to use it. I'm like, which it's on my YouTube channel. Honestly, I think at that time it was my best heel work because I was fucking panicking, not getting this crowd going. So I'm being a fucking bastard. I'm like, fuck you. I'm not swearing at him. I just, of course, we swear all the time in the back or talking about stories where we don't actually swear. So like, I'm like, yeah, I got it, but you know, just trying to get heat. It wasn't until I got to Michigan where I felt, I think I'm onto something with the heel stuff. And then my recent match, really like, I think I can do this. I think I can be a heel. Oh my God. I'm doing it. Because like, everyone's like, oh, being a heel is so great. In my head, I'm like, fuck no, it's not. I can't do it. I suck at it. I'm just a better face, you know? So like, we go to NLS is for everyone. When I started CSW, that's all Coda Holiday talked about. Was NLS, the show. It was going to the Berwyn Eagles Club. Coda was telling us the rent rate and everything. Like, it's a fucking steal. We're going to do this. We're actually going to do this. Not many people came. But what was weird was the show went so long that, like, there was 2 intermissions. And after each intermission, it's like the crowd would just cycle. So there'd be new people by this point of the show, and then old people would have gone, and then it just cycled more new people in. But no one was sticking around because the show went like 4.5, 5 hours. I left after a certain point. I was like, hey, I'm going to get going. I'm going to go hit up some buddies who are in town. I'm going to spend the night here and then go home the next day. And it was a pre-show match with Gonzo. And Gonzo, that was his 3rd match. And at the time, I was kind of dogging on him. I'm like, could have been better. And poor Gonzo's like, oh. And I'm like, no, Gonzo. And I'm like, Gonzo, how many matches have you had? He goes, that was my 3rd match, and it was my first singles match. I'm like, all right, don't worry about it, man. Watch it back. It's not bad. It's a 5-minute pre-show match. What more do you want from it? You know? And it's not bad. And I remember hit up Gonzo apologizing, like, Gonzo, I'm so sorry for being a fucking wet blanket that day, because this is fine, you know? This is fine. But that show was wild. There was 3 promoters, 3 wrestlers who were promoting, and I think one of them paid for some, one didn't pay anything, and the other one got the biggest, had to foot the biggest fucking bill. And I think after that, it just kind of cracked between those three guys. Or three, 2 guys, 1 girl. Those 3 peeps. There we go. I forgot. Or that's what happens when you're like, hey, you guys, all this fucking time. You just say guys all the time, not realize, oh shit, one of them's a woman. So it's an interesting story, honestly. It really is, and I hope that somebody hits all 3 of them up to tell the story, tell us the tale. You know, why you should or shouldn't do a show, like run a show. And I remember too, I got paid for that pre-show match, and like every promotion I've worked, they don't pay for pre-show matches, so I'm just like, okay, you know, appreciate it, man. So it worked for me. But no, I hope, you know, hope all is well with all 3 of them now. I do talk to one of them, and every time we see each other, we hug. So I'm like, cool. I can't talk about that match because it hasn't aired yet. Another Battle Royal for CSW. Yes. 63, Northland, Woodstock, March 19th. Adam Stallion, who came from PPW. Sky Blue, Adam Stallion, and Connor Core were the 3 most talked about people in PPW that weren't there anymore. Sky because they were pissed off at Sky. Anakin because that's his real name. Figure that out. His real name is Anakin. His fake name is Adam. Interesting. So Anakin was always talked about because Anakin was a prospect, huge prospect from there. He was on the level of Sem and Anestra and Vine and all of them. So when he left, it was like a bit. He left because, from what I understand, it was COVID. Because COVID hit, and he's like, and PPW came back way before they should have. Anakin's like, I'm not comfortable coming back. And then I guess Anakin won the PPW title, and they took the title off him because he wouldn't come back. As opposed to, and they didn't tell him, they just did it. No communication because of course Randy doesn't communicate. Because like you'd hit up Randy asking questions, he'd leave you on red or just gives you a 1-word answer when you text him. I text Boz sends me paragraphs. I text Hades, he sends me paragraphs. Like, that shows you the level of teaching Hades and Boz has compared to Randy. Like, Randy taught us how to be able to work without calling everything. He taught us how to fucking he taught us shit. He did teach us shit. But I didn't learn anything until I left. All I learned was to be calm and how to handle a fucking, like, calling very little. So that's something I did take from them. And then the bare basics. But even then, the basics needed worked on at CSW because I was still fucking working like as Boss says, an 80s jobber. So I had a lot to work on. So that was good that came out of it. I'm not saying, I know earlier I was very fucking vocal saying fuck you. But I did learn something. And I'm glad I started there. And I'm glad I got the growing pains out at CSW. And I'm still getting the growing pains out. Because I'm only 2 years in. 2 years officially in January. Well, I had a match with Tolly Bertarelli. Supposed to go 8 minutes. It went 4. One of those, we could stretch this. We didn't stretch it. And I at the time, I was still, like, afraid to input things because Tully was the vet. So I'm like, all right, Tully will carry it. It only went fucking 4 minutes, 4 minutes. Then there was the Rumble. They had a Royal Rumble match, Heaven Through Hell, it was called, and it's a Rumble. It is what it is. March 20th, I went to Lucha Libre Total and faced a guy named Billy Tipton, who was a Kane and Tom Pritchard, Dr. Tom student, who It was after, this was a triple shot, yeah. So we had CSW on Friday, we had CTW on Saturday, and we had Lucha Libre Total on Sunday. I don't know if that was that my first triple shot, or was that my second? But it was rough. I was fucking drained. I wasn't used to it. And going into this match, I was like, oh boy. And then my first time since leaving PPW, I fucked up majorly. Fucking up spots. We pulled through, but like watching it back, and I thought the match was horrible, but then watching it back, it was alright. But looking at me, you can tell, I know this is bad. We need this. I know I'm like, I am fucking up. Because Billy did fine. I think Billy did okay. But me personally, I'm like, this is not good. I was like, this is the worst I've performed in a while. Got to the back and I was like, contemplating everything. Like, what do I do? Joey, Mayberry, Mateo were there. They were like, look, it's okay. And then Billy came back and goes, bro, it's all right. We all fuck up. It happens. We saved it. We saved it and such. But Yakuza, the promoter, watched it. And I was just... I didn't go back for a while. I was done. Because, like, I was just so, like... I was embarrassed. I felt like I really fucked up. And I didn't want to go back. Till recently, of course. So, finally, April 22nd of 2022, Chicago Star Wrestling get a big opportunity. A pre-show singles match between me and Doom Montgomery. And we were so excited to work. And I remember thinking, if I can work Doom and do some of that Japanese stuff he likes to work, I think I can possibly see myself wrestling in Japan. Because, like, I know they're going to hit hard, and they're going to lay it in. So I knew Doom was going to lay it in and hit hard because everybody was complaining about it. So I'm like, I want to fucking do it. I want to work with Doom. I want to bust my ass. And from what I remember, it was fun. I haven't seen the footage. It was never posted. We had a lot of notes, but it was a decent outing for us. And that's when I learned, I'm like, yes. And I loved it. Like, we had a couple practice matches after that. Like, we had one where, like, yeah, it was a walk and talk, meaning we only called the finish, I think. And the rest was in the ring, and we just fucking went with each other, felt each other out, and just boom, 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 just talking to each other, and I think we got a chemistry, and I think when we finally get to have that feud, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. So, that really sparked it. This was my... Or, no. Yes? Yes, this was my second or third triple shot, because I went to Crash Test it again, and I hit him up with some bad news. I told him, Janesville Wrestling Alliance, JWA, has hit me up, and they want to book me, and unfortunately they run the same day. And I told him, like, Janesville is 40 minutes for me, Hobart, Indiana is 2 hours and 15 minutes for me. I'm going to go with JWA. Also, a lot of the guys were going to JWA. A lot of people were leaving CTW. A lot of people were leaving Crash Tested. The crowd wasn't getting any bigger at the time. So I just saw an out. I'm like, I'm going to go here. I gave him notice. I was very professional, very respectful. It ended up being my last match there because I think the next show was canceled. And then by the time, I believe it was June rolled around, that's when I was like, I can't make it, dude. Sorry. I think I got booked in Michigan, and it was just, I wasn't sure if there was even going to be a June show, because, like, it didn't sound like there was going to be, and then there was, but I hit him up, I was like, listen, I think I hit him up way before he announced it. He goes, I don't know what's going on right now, but I got an offer to go out here, I appreciate everything you've done for me. He was respectful, said thank you, I hate to see you go, hope to have you back someday. I'm like, sure, absolutely. And he's hit me up a few times, too. Jed. Jed from CTW. Good guy. But I felt the writing on the wall where I was like, all right, let's get out of here. Hot Rod Andy. Told him about my match with Doom. He goes, "You want to fuck around today?" I'm like, "Sure." We had fun. It was stupid. I fucking did a flip bump from the stunner, which I love. I scared the shit out of him. When I flip bump, he like, "Oh fuck," because like he wasn't expecting me to go so fast. Because like he hit me, I fucking hit the rope, flipped, but I was like right next to his leg while he's sitting there after hitting the stunner, and he's like, "Oh shit!" The ref's fucking dying. Rion's fucking crying like, "Oh my god, this is hilarious." Fucking Andy covers me 1, 2, 3. It was. I went to get in the back here for Jet, waiting for like Jet to go. "Oh come on, guys!" But he was like, "No, that was fun." I'm like, "Hell yeah, that's all that matters." Then I wrestled for Melson Family Wrestling, Frank the Tank Melson's retirement show. His nephew Nathan People, who books Northland, hit me up and said, "Can you find an opponent?" So I hit up Eric Schultz, who I found out from Nathan was going to hit up Eric as well. So when he found out I got Eric, he was very happy. He's like, "Hell yes." So me and Eric just had fun. Another fun match. Eric ran up the steps. I was going to chase him. There was the bleachers. We were in the Marengo High School. I chased him up. It was also my 69th match, so nice. So it was a nice match, too. Chased him up the bleachers, fucking chased him back down. He's going to dive in the ring. I grab his ass and bite it. He gets in the ring. And I'm also like out of breath, so I fucking grab his head. Boom, off the turnbuckle. He's ready to go for the second one, and I'm holding him there. I'm like, I point to the fucking turnbuckle, waiting for the crowd to respond, and he said that in that moment, I was like, "Oh, thank God," because he knew I was going to do it each time. He's like, "Oh, thank you, I can catch my breath." So fucking had a fun match. Eric said that was the first time he's ever gone over clean as a heel. So I think it's his only time, too, so far. So he got the win. I made my debut for All Heels Wrestling, AHW, teaming with Hot Rod Daddy Andy to take on NLS, Coda Holiday and Jax Johnson. It was kind of like what I was saying earlier, how Charlie Hustle wanted to wrestle, as opposed to keep the boom, 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 boom action going in the opening tag match spots, where Andy just wanted, or Coda just wanted to wrestle Andy, or it was like, all right, well, you're forgetting you have a tag partner. You have a tag partner right there, and Andy's got a tag partner right here. All I threw was clotheslines, and midway through, when I was throwing the fucking third or fourth clothesline, I'm like, God damn, I know other moves, what am I doing? So, it was the talk of camp when it was posted. Yeah, it wasn't our best. We were happy with it at the time, but watching it back, I was like, yikes. We also got in trouble because Coda was flipping everybody off on a Sunday show in the afternoon full of crowds full of kids. Ring announcer Rick Lowe's yelling at us, which Coda says he got the okay from the promoters to do it, but I think Coda kind of went overboard with it. Because it went back to Boz. Because, of course, Boz helped train Coda. And that's going back on Boz now. And Boz's like, what the fuck? Your girl's over here flipping off the kids. Coda's first ever woman I've ever wrestled, too. So, that's a footnote for Coda. Can't talk about that match. Hasn't aired yet. Yes. Back to Rockford for Cinco de Mayo. Even though it was not May the 5th, it was May 14th. It was me and Axel Braille taking on CNC Destruction, Cody James, Chris Miller. It was a fun tag match. BRC Bruiser watched it, gave us a lot of notes, a lot of intel, a lot of stuff to work on with the little things, and I was just blown away. And at the time, I was wearing a singlet. I was shirtless in PPW, but I was like, I'm gonna fucking start wearing a singlet because I think I was self-conscious, but I was convinced of myself I wasn't self-conscious about it. But then when he said, you need to lose a singlet. Moondog didn't wear a singlet. Like, yeah. I was wearing a singlet and a shirt. When I was a face, I wore a singlet and a shirt. When I was a heel, I just wore the singlet. So, ditched the shirt, ditched the singlet, took Bruiser's advice, and was very thankful for it, because now I'm more comfortable with my own skin, my own body. There's pictures still where I could go, ooh, I gotta work on that. Like, ooh, gotta up the crunches a little more. Or let's get rid of those titties, you know. Let's work on them titties in the gym. You know. Back to the Battle Royals for CSW. I believe I won that one. I don't remember. I know I won one. It was fucking awesome. I got a Northland. Bring your own snacks. The rematch and the blow-off between me and Adam Stallion. The first match was so fun. It's actually one of my best ones. So then we have this crazy rematch. There's one thing that both him and I agree on that could have been done different that would have made the match even better. But, like, other than that, it was the craziest gimmick match. I think it was my first ever gimmick match, and I was just enjoying it. Trash the ring. We're the main event. And when Boz was talking to Cody James, who was supposed to be in the main event with Inestra, Boz was like, why aren't you in the main event? And Cody's like, Anakin and fucking Moondog are gonna get shit everywhere. They have a bunch of food and drinks and shit. I brought a shit ton of beer. He brought a shit ton of fucking, like, weird, like, Asian market snacks. Because like, he these turtle chips, that's what he comes out with. I ask, and I never see those in stores. I ask him, where do you get those? He goes, you gotta hit up, like, Asian markets, because they have these. I'm like, okay. So fucking Twizzlers, he whipped me with a Twizzler. It fucking sucked. I'm like, oh, that hurts. So afterward, he's like patting me on the back, like, oh. He goes, oh, you okay? He goes, you patted me with a Twizzler. You hit me with a Twizzler. He goes, that actually hurt? Like, yes, it's a whip. You whipped me with a Twizzler. It's fucking sucked. So, that was the most insane fucking match I've ever been a part of. I made my return to the Indiana area, if you consider Richmond Park, Illinois, part of the Indiana, because the promotion was called Illiana. It was ran by Rion the Ref from Crash Test Wrestling, and he put me in a junior heavyweight championship match at 250 pounds, billed as. And even when I came out there, I'm hearing someone in the crowd go, that guy's a junior? A junior heavyweight? I'm like, yeah. I was nervous that day for some reason. Aaron Stone was looking at me like I was a dumbass. It was me, Aaron Stone, and Scorpion Dorado. And I'm just like, I don't got it, man. I don't have it. Everybody was late. We were the first fucking match. I had nothing. I was the only guy there. So I'm like, I don't have it. I don't have anything. And I was fucking losing my mind, like nervous. I think the ring was getting all fucked up too, because like we didn't set up right. It wasn't even. I think it was like at a slant. So the boards kept popping up. So I'm like, we're gonna die. We're gonna die. So fucking, what could go wrong went wrong. But the match was fine. The three-way is actually pretty solid. Solid three-way. I believe Scorpion won. Aaron Stone was the champ. I was just laughing like I'm in a fucking junior heavyweight title. And then I was in a Royal Rumble. It was a memorial for Jake Adams, who tragically passed away, and I met him 2 weeks before that at Crash Tested, my last Crash Tested show. So we go to this match, and I ended up eliminating 6 people. I was supposed to eliminate like 2 or 3, and then another guy. I think it just so happened where like guys needed to get out, and he goes, "Hey, throw me out." I'm like, okay. And then by the time I was like, all right, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to get thrown out because we're about to reach the final 4. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. So a huge opportunity that I had to learn a very valuable lesson, and I made a huge mistake, big mistake. It was UWE Beat the Heat. I made my debut in Michigan. I was a heel, and I started a program with Trog. And the promoter, Eric Freedom, gave me this whole idea. He goes, you're going to have this program with Trog, and we'll be continuing the next show. That next show was the same day as JWA. Rather than tell Eric, I canceled JWA for UWE. And Jay Cross he told me how he felt. And he told me, I understand, but you gotta look at it from our point of view. And I said, I understand, I apologize. And that day on, I was like, I'm never doing that fucking again. Never will I cancel. Unless it's for fucking WWE, AEW, or like a big fucking TV group. Never. And I was very lucky to be welcomed to JWA after that. I hit him up in August after the show. And I said, Mr. Cross, may I please help out, pay dues, earn my way back on the show? And he said, sure. Came up. So I came up and I helped out. I was honestly expecting to not be on that show for the year. I thought all I was going to do was set up the ring, run people's merch, tear down the ring, do it again each month. And I was fine with that. I was absolutely fine with that because I was there to prove I am loyal. I made a mistake. And even when I told Trog about it, he goes, dude, don't fucking do that. Don't do that. I'm like, yeah, I know. I'll never do it again. And I'm ashamed. And I'm very thankful to Janesville Wrestling Alliance. I'm very thankful to you, Jay Cross, and you, Andy Church, for giving me a second chance. And I am so sorry that I did that to you. I'm so sorry. And I proved that when Eric asked me to do a show in November. I was booked in the Wisconsin Dells for that day. So I told him, I can do October, I can do December, I cannot do November. I'm already booked at the Dells, which he respected, thank God. And he's like, all right, we'll do the blow off in October. Maybe come back to it in December. I'm like, fine with me. But I made a mistake. And wrestlers listening, watching, don't do that. Unless you got an opportunity to be an extra, to do a squash match, to try out, all this stuff, or memorial shows are different. That's a fucking memorial show, of course. If the promoter doesn't let you do that, they're an ass. Obviously, those are the exceptions, but don't ever do that. Unless you're looking for an out, like I did with Crash Tested. I gave them plenty of notice. I said, listen, and they had a whole year mapped out. Not for me, but they had a whole year schedule. So I was like, and I've already been there for a couple months, so I was giving them hey, I'm going to be wrapping up. I want to wrap up soon. So that was the pro thing to do. This wasn't. This was very unpro, and it's honestly a good reason to blackball me and to tell other promoters about me. This guy fucked me. So I appreciate that they didn't do that, and I appreciate that they gave me the second chance, and I promise you and any promotion that books me, I'm going to do my damnedest. I will do my best. And even if my best wasn't enough, you will see the efforts. You will see the sad, sad effort that is Craig Jones as a pro wrestler. But that's where I started with Trog, the program. And I seen Trog as a fan. There was a promotion called Project Forest City Wrestling here in Rockford. And I would go to their shows, and I got to see Trog. And I remember Trog. I remember Hello Boo. I remember Trog. I remember dude with a Darth Maul mask, Darth Maul inspired mask. And I remember J. Cross and such. So it was just, and I told him that. I'm like, this is kind of blow away. This is really cool for me. He was kind of took it back and appreciative. And Trog's one of the nicest guys. I appreciate him a lot. And I remember, too, because May 29th for Ileana was my last match. And then I had like 2.5, 3 weeks off. I was losing my mind. Because June, not many people run in June because of, like graduations and such. It's a shame. I thought about hitting up POW. By that time, I wasn't a POW regular anymore. So I didn't want to just do that show and then just fuck off. And such until I knew I was able to do it. So thankfully, when I was able to do those T-Wood shows again, that's when I'm like, oh, at least I got this. At least I got Rockford, because Jimmy books Rockford. At least I got Rockford. And I'm like, at least I got fucking... Now I was like, okay, I got the T-Wood shows. That's... Hell yeah. Nah, and such. So Michigan was originally going to be the biggest trip I've made. Until Joey Mayberry walks up to me and goes, me and Mateo are booked in San Antonio, Texas. We have a spot in our car. Would you like to ride with us? Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. So we rode to San Antonio, saw the wildest shit. We drove. It was a 24-hour drive to, 24-hour drive from. It was one of the most fun rides. And, of course, one of those, by the end of that ride, you are itching to get out of that car, and you're itching to get in the hotel room. You're itching to get home. You're like, I'm done. I love these two to death, but I'm sick of looking at you. Get me out of this car. You know? All of us were feeling that way towards each other. It was mutually agreed. I'm sick of your face. I love you. Mwah. Now get away from me. Let me go to sleep. Oh my God. I wrestled a man by the name of Byron Anthos, who Byron actually, that was his last match. He hit me up a few months after the fact, said thank you. That was my last match. I'm like, I appreciate it. It was, I won't say the name of the promotion only because the person that ran it got outed as a sex offender. And it's a shame, but that would really tarnish a lot of people's experience, I feel like. It kind of soured it a little, but at the end of the day, I wrestled in Texas. I wrestled in front of people that were into me. They didn't know who I was, and I got to get them. I still got them to go, who, and I got to put over one of their guys, which was sweet. You know, it was nice to wrestle somebody that isn't from the Chicago area. You know, isn't from the Midwest. So like, you get to really get a sense of what the other training's like in other states. And I'm thankful to you, Byron, for working me. Appreciate you a lot. And I appreciate Mateo and Joey as well for including me on that show. Back home, Northland, I wrestled Gonzo. Or excuse me, me and Gonzo wrestled Alpha Zeta Zeta. And Alpha Zeta Zeta's matches before that one sucked. I'm sorry, they did. And they tell you they sucked. So when I got the announcement I got told I was working them. I hit up Gonzo and I said, their matches before this their matches have been terrible in Northland. At Northland. They've been doing good other places, but Northland, I was like, their match has been terrible. It's not them either. It's fucking... They're doing their best. They're getting heat, but the crowd is just... The crowd doesn't like the babies. Like, the crowd's just not into the babies. So if they were just into the babies, it'd be fine, you know. But the crowd's not into the babies, so but all they get's the boos. So if you had a crowd that was into the babies, they get booed harder for winning, you know, or doing their shit. So I texted Gonzo. I'm like, this is gonna be their best fucking match. I'm doing it. They're gonna have their best Northland match, and happy to say afterward it was a lot of fun. Had a real hard critic even be like, that was fun. That was good. And even Charlie for the next few days, you know, I have my best match with Moondog. Going to the class, you know, I had the best match in Northland this week. I'm like, all right, thanks, Charlie. Thanks. You don't have to fucking brag about it. I was glad to do it, and I was excited for the rematch next month. But because I'd have a battle royal between there, and then I'd go to POW, Damage Inc. I wrestled Scott Spade, who Scott Spade is one of the old schoolest guys you could wrestle. Doesn't call a fucking thing. Just what's the finish, what body part we work in. And I had all the wrestling lesson. It was nice, and it's funny because when he told me that, we're not calling anything. He was like, yes, sir. I think it kind of took him aback. He's like, oh, okay. All right, cool. And then I said, yeah, and finishes the ace, the cutter. He goes, nah, I want to do the Texas Power Driver. I was like, okay. He goes, okay, cool. You know how to get up for it? I'm like, yes, sir. Because Matt Vine gave me one at a practice match and went perfect. So I was like, okay, just kind of toes in the air. He got me up. My feet go through the roof because the roof is this low. So, because it's T-Woods, my feet go through. I was like, whoops. But the only regret is I didn't sell it like death. I rolled out and I started walking. Well, Brian, the ref, was slowly rolling me out. And then I got on my feet, but I was still hunched over. Spade immediately ran. Boom! All right, he's dead again. And he walked away. That's how smart Scott is. At Damage, I wrestled Kazile. And, like, I've been dying to wrestle Kazile. Oh, because when I met Kazile, he was the coolest guy. I never leave POW. If he's in a locker room, I will never not leave with a smile. I could be pissed off and want to be pissed off. And Kyle would come up to me and do the fucking Midnight Express music with his fucking doing the mouth kazoo. Like, he could do a kazoo noise. And I'd be like, fuck you, Kyle, I want to be angry. Get away from me. But it wouldn't be possible because he would just get louder right here. If I ever did that. Obviously, that didn't happen. I'm just saying. That's just what I'm saying. Like if I wanted to be angry, Kyle would be like, no, fuck you, asshole. I'm going to make you laugh and be a dick. And Kyle in the ring is like one of the fucking legit guys where it's like, Jesus, he could fucking tear you up. Like, he's got that gimmick is awesome. And I'd always, when I was in PPW, I'd get POW flyers on Facebook. And he was always on them, Kazile. And I always laughed because I knew that meant Kyle and Carney. So I'm like, who is this man? I'm so interested. And finally I met him, and he was everything I could dream of, you know. Got cats joining us. Jesus. They had the first ever Battle Royal that night, too. Because James Storm and Tom Latimer were running late. So we had to fucking kill time. And they're like, we're on our way. And it's like, how far are you? So we had matches go longer. We had that impromptu Battle Royal. It was like we were trying everything in our goddamn power to get this thing to work. Then they made it, thank God. We had a main event. Back to Northland, it was me and Jay Thunder versus AZZ. This match wasn't as good as the last one, in my mind. At the time, I felt it was fine. Watching it back, there's a lot of things I would have done differently. Like, we did a chair angle, which the idea came in my head. We have this chair spot, right? We should practice this. Called him over. Sure enough, first swing, he pusses. I won't say which one. He pusses. And I'm like, if this was on the show, we'd be fucked. Like, so Dave, the awesome ref, has the chair, and he's fucking swinging. He's showing him how to swing. And I would sell it, but it would freak him out, so I had to stop selling and just take this on the knee. But the problem is he's tapping my kneecap, so it's like jolting and such. I'm tied up to the post, which when Nestor saw that, he's like, fuck that, you know? I sent that match to a current wrestler and a vet. I don't know if the vet wants me saying their name, but vet noted things. He goes, well, all you really did was sell. Your selling's awesome, but I would put more offense in there. I'm like, okay. Sent it to Anestra. Said the same thing, but more colorful language. So I could count on Anestra to be brutally honest, and a lot of wrestlers I could count on to be honest. And I appreciate that, because like, I don't want people bullshitting me and be like, oh, it's great, it's all great. No, you're perfect. Because like, oh, fuck that, that's not true. Because like, I'll look at shit like, I noticed that. And then some of the vets I trust don't even notice that. I'm like, which, nothing against them, they didn't notice. But like, I noticed, I'm like, okay, it's a good thing I'm noticing that. Because like, I can fix that. Because they didn't even know that's what I'm fucking up. And I can fix that before they even know I was fucking that up. You know? That's their deal. And I'm happy for that. But, yeah. I think, actually, yes. This is the debut. Or was it in that Battle Royal at CSW? I think it was in the Battle Royal for CSW. But this was definitely the first time I changed my name to the DFB, the Dog-Faced Bastard, Greg Murray. Because there's a lot of Moondogs on the indies. There's a promotion I hit up, trying to get work, just to help out and such. And they said, yeah, come on up and help out. Texts me later about that. Never mind, we're good. I'm like, okay. Like, who doesn't have enough fucking ring guys? And he even asked us, he even asked, like, are you looking to be paid? I'm like, no, I'm just looking to get on the card and then I'll worry about getting paid that day, when I get on the card. He's like, okay, yeah, come on up. But something spooked him. I'm like, then I found out they had a Moondog. And then a lot of those wrestlers started showing up to CSW, and I would talk to them, and like, I'd tell them that story, and they'd be like, yep, and I wouldn't even say what I thought it was. They would outright say, we have a Moondog. That's why. I'm like, that just reassures it, So I had the thought, I'm going to change it, because, like, a lot of people kind of criticize me as a Moondog. Not criticize, but critiqued, where they're like, listen, you're a Moondog, don't talk, do this. And I'm like, okay, I'll do that, but I was like, come on, guys, it's 2022. The big issue was me talking. I talk. That's a huge issue. So that's why I'm glad Jimmy Blaze is like, hey, I need promos, even though I'm a Moondog. Because like, I want to talk. I want to cut promos. I want to shit talk, especially if I'm a heel, And we did that. So I did that. So I had the idea. I was like, the Dog-Faced Bastard, because in my opinion, wrestling's moving this way, where it's a little more mature, not outright like fucking boobs or like not attitude era levels of like there's a word I'm thinking of, but like being fairly mature, like kids can handle the word shit if people say it on TV. That sort of deal. So, but I had to keep in mind there's going to be promotions I will have like, so the DFB. And that's why anytime I introduce myself to a promoter on Facebook or something, I put that in my message. I say, I wrestled under the name the Dog-Faced Bastard Greg Murray, or the DFB Greg Murray if you are family friendly. So I instantly get that out of the way. So they know. Okay. Had a... So Texas was my first outdoor show. Had my second outdoor show for POW at Lakemore Fest in Lakemore, Illinois. It was me and Trog taking on Spade and Tiny. Again, nothing was called. Just the finish. And I remember learning more lessons. I have Spade in a wrist lock. I let go of him for some reason. He darts that way. And I'm like, oh, fuck, I let him go. Tag out to Trog. Like, God damn it. We laughed about it later, of course. The cutoff, Tiny puts up his knee, and I fucking run into his knee. From my vantage, I look over. He's on the ground. He's like standing on the ground, like trying to get back up. I'm like, so what I thought had happened was he put his knee up, and I thought I shot him off the apron, and he was like here. I thought he was like boom. And he landed wrong, and he landed like fucked. But no. Watching it back. He took it. He sat on his ass. He got back up, and then like he turned around. He tried to get back up. But from my vantage, I thought he fucking got blown off. I thought I like ran into his knee too hard or some shit. But no, it was another lesson. More battle royals for CSW. Wrestled Tommy McCobb at T-Woods for POW, 87th match. And Tommy is so fucking... Tommy's cool. Tommy's hilarious. So I was so happy to work with him and such. We got a dog toy over. It's funniest things. The pictures are great. I shoved the fucking dog toy up his ass. The whole crowd went, ah! Started laughing. It was awesome. So happy to put him over. And then we had a rematch, and the rematch was fun as well. The only thing was I had to slow it down a little bit, which that was a lesson, because I was like, the second match, this rematch, we had to stop when something was going wrong. I had to slow down, slow him down. That's carrying people, I have the match with Trog in Cadillac, Michigan. And got heat. I was like, this is great. Like, this is when my confidence was starting to build as me as a heel. And then we got the unfortunate news that it was not filmed. Like, fuck! It was filmed, or they thought they filmed it. But I guess, there's just a big snafu and it wasn't filmed. And the guy felt so bad. And both me and Trog were like, dude, it's okay. It happens. Shit happens. They know it happened. We know it happened. I did fuck with him though. I fucked with him on Saturday. I was like, hey, I got a big favor from you, Kyle. His name's Kyle too. I got a big favor for you, Kyle. He's like, hey, what's up, man? I'm like, I'm gonna need you to hit the record button when I go out. And it took him like, oh, I'm like, yeah, I just fucking with you, man. Don't worry about it. He goes, no, okay, no, I get it. He was laughing too. He knew I was fucking with him. How the match goes, just so you know, I remember to hit the record button. Thanks, Kyle. Hell yeah. Hello, Kyle. Fucking cool guy. I returned to Ileana. Another junior heavyweight three-way. It's me, Escorpion Dorada, and Nick Diamond, who I wanted to work Nick, because Nick, I think, is, out of Indiana, one of the best. I think, and he's got some big opportunities coming up for him, so I hope that goes well. Because, character-wise, he's really good. I think he's really good character-wise. So it was cool to finally wrestle him. I think the three was fine. There's little nitpicks here and there from... It's just, of course, when you look back at your match, you're like, I want to fix that. That's what I do. And then probably the biggest match of my life happens to begin September. My 92nd match. My for my 92nd is in 92, by the way. Game Changer Wrestling, Effie's Big Gay Brunch. And again, Joey and Mateo, we're booked on brunch. You want to ride with us and help out? Absolutely. So, go to Hoffman Estates. We're early. I brought my gear. Because never know. But in my head, I was like, no way. No fucking way. Get there. I'm saying hi to everybody. I'm being genuine. Because I am genuine. I'm a genuine person. I try to be anyway. So I'm like shaking people's hands like, oh my God, so nice to meet you. It's a pleasure to meet you. Because Para was there. Kid Bandit was there. I met Bandit at NLS. So it was nice to catch up with them. And such. So fucking, I try to get pictures. I met Dark Sheik, who was sweet. I got to shake hands with Max the Impaler, who was cool as fuck. Finally, I see Brett Lauderdale. I'm like, hello, Mr. Lauderdale. My name's Greg. I rode with Joey and Mateo. I'm here to help with whatever you need. I think he's probably had that. He had that told to him probably a good couple times that whole weekend. Goes, yeah. Go ahead and go help with the chairs. I'm like, all right, sounds good. Yes, sir. Run and get the chairs. Effie finally shows up. I run up to Effie. I said, I did not say Mr. Effie. That's a lie. I said, hello, sir. I did say, sir. Hello, sir. My name is Greg. I rode with Mateo and Joey. I'm here to help with whatever you need. And he goes, do you got your gear? I'm like, in my head, I'm like, yes, sir. He goes, good. I got something for you. I'm like, holy fuck. Holy fuck. So, at fucking 12:30 p.m., I'm wrestling on a pay-per-view in a fucking scramble. I had gotten news from CSW that I was going to be in a scramble match for my debut on the main card. So, this was perfect. I'm like, I'm going to be in a scramble. I'll know how to fucking work them now. And Mike Bailey helped us put it together. Very nice, sweet guy. I tweeted him once saying, how do I not get, with the self-doubt, I could not find the fucking tweet. It drove me insane, and he wanted to see it, because I told him about it. He goes, oh my God, dude, I he seems like such a nice fucking guy, So I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry I couldn't find that tweet. He goes, no problem, man, it's okay. Send it to me if you find it. I'm like, yeah, absolutely. So, I wrestled Chase Burnett, Deshade, Jayla J from Australia, Aaron Rourke, Armani Chaos, and we had a fun six-way. I texted Bobs, I texted Hades, I texted Axel Rico, said I'm on brunch. Thank you guys for everything you've done for me and such. And just thanking them, because if it wasn't for their training, wasn't for them being honest, helping me, there's no fucking way. So, funny thing, Axel was at the show. Axel couldn't get reception in that building, so he didn't know. So, my music hits. And Axel recognizes me and goes, who's got Moondog's music? As soon as he come out, he goes, oh my God! He popped the video of Shelly on my Instagram, 18,000 views. Fuck. But Shelly Shelly had no idea. Only Sky Blue knew. Sky told Shelly. Sky recognized my music. Shelly, stand on the chair. Why? Just look. Hops on the chair, has her phone. She's taking pictures of everybody. When I blast through the curtain, it was a genuine... I still get chills thinking about it. I was on a high for a whole week. And then after I get back, my phone won't stop blowing up. I'm like, what is going on? And I'm seeing all these people following me on Twitter and Instagram and liking my Facebook page. I'm like, what is happening? I'm like, my Twitter's blowing up. This has never happened before. And everybody's laughing and going, hell yeah, man, that's awesome. I'm like, What do I do? Who are all you people? Oh my god. So, the next match was SCSW, and it was changed from a scramble to a 6-man tag. So it was me, Cody James, and Cypher taking on Eric Schultz, Mario Pardua, and Joey Mayberry. And it was going fine. Me and Eric were going to the cutoff, and we got I haven't seen the match back yet as of this recording, but like we got turned around somehow, or I got turned around, and it just got all kind of fucked up. I think the crowd was going, "What the hell's going on?" You know, the crowd was on fire. It was probably like, Jesus. It's like, yeah, I was nervous for brunch, but I was more nervous for this because I worked so hard to get on this fucking show, and for that big fuck up, I was like, I'm laying on the mat. I'm laying on the mat for the double down. I'm like, it's over. It's all over. No. It wasn't over. I had another match. It was my 100th match, which we're almost there. I made my return to Lucha Libre Total. LLT came back after a brief hiatus. And Pancho Garcia, my first ever wrestling match. Or what I say is my first ever wrestling match. Pancho has finally left PPW. Dislocates his thumb. Saw that as an out. Joined up with us. And got him that booking for LLT. And we get in trouble. Pancho flips off the crowd. We're told... So we have a lot of freedom at LLT. And that's what we're told. Pancho's like, you think I can flip off the crowd? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, and then Pancho did it. And I'm like, Pancho did it. And when we watched it back, they censored it. Then word got back that we weren't on the poster. So I'm like, oh no. Because I grabbed his dick. That was the thing. I grabbed his dick and I started punching him. It was stupid. But we're like, whatever. Let's have fun, right? So I'm like, okay, what did we hear? The guy who was doing... he's kind of a liaison for Yakuza. He's like, well, he's upset at you guys. He's actually angry at you guys. Like, well, what happened? And then he goes, Pancho flipping off the crowd. I'm like, oh, no. I'm like, so, grab my phone. I sent a genuine apology to Yakuza. I said, I know you're angry. I'm so sorry. We should not have done that. That is my bad. And even if he left me on red or didn't get back to me, I would have been fine because I apologized. I did what I could. And if I didn't get back on the show, you know, that's my bad. You know, it wouldn't be unreasonable if he didn't book me again. But as of right now, I'm booked for LLT in November. So I'm back, baby. Unfortunately, Pancho was not included, so hopefully Pancho can come back. I do feel bad, you know. So, Pow was my rematch with Tommy that I talked about earlier. I had probably one of the worst matches I've ever been in. God, this is gonna hurt feelings. It was me, Nikki Nix, who I guess wrestled as Miranda Wrights. Nikki's trying to get back into wrestling, and Turtle, the referee, who wrestles as well for some promotions, versus the Workhorses. Of course, the Workhorses have been taking Indiana by storm with their group. So, it was an idea. I pitched to the promoter. I said, Rion, I was like, hey, got an idea. I wouldn't mind, because I knew I wasn't going to be there too long. This ended up being my last match for Ileana. So it's like, let me see if I can pick my opponents. Like, let me see if I can do something. And I got the match. It was all kinds of chaos. It was all kinds of fucked up. And I'm on the apron going, well, this is bad. But I'm, for some reason, having fun? Question mark. You know? It was rough. But we got through it. Called it a night. We were in the main. We were main event. So go to Northland and make up for it with probably one of the best matches I've had in a while, if not one of the most fun. It was me versus Joey Mayberry, and it was October 1st, which I think the crowd was like, oh shit, that's right, it's October 1st. Because by the time everybody else came out in costumes, the crowd were kind of into it. I came out as a stormtrooper. Joey came out as one of the witches from Hocus Pocus. He did that last year in the Battle Royal for CSW, and he did magic. He fucking eliminated Coda Holiday. Hilarious. This one, he fucking made me dance, made the ref dance. We were all just having fun. Then finally, once he got to the wrestling, I think the crowd was kind of like when we were fucking around. But once we got to the wrestling part, we got him. And we got him for the finish, and it was so fun. I was so nervous. I was like, God, I hope this is good. It was good. It was great. So much fun. And I was on a roll. 'Cause 99, Janesville. I debuted for JWA. I helped out last month. Ran Anakin's merch table. Helped out tear down the ring, set up the ring. Excuse me. And I wrestled Eric Schultz, my 69th match and my 99th match. And we had so much fun. I came out, I challenged Andy, and the crowd was kind of like, huh? And I'm like, but I was telling, like, I was giving the lineage of Andy, because he's another guy when I was in PPW everybody talked about was Andy. Wrestling Andy. So I called him out as a face. I was respectful. I put him over. And then the crowd got so into it by the time Andy gets to the ring. We're waiting for Eric's music to kick in. Music's not on. Or the music's on, but the guy can't get it to work. So we're waiting. Now we're circling. We're like taking turns hyping up the crowd. Now we're circling. And we're both looking at each other. We're going to have to fucking lock up, aren't we? Aren't we? And thankfully, Eric behind the curtain knew this is going way too long. Then they haven't even played the music. And then he sees Andy motion this, do the Iggy, and Eric, whoa, 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 at the top of his lungs because he's so used to working shows where the mic's all goofy. So he's like yelling at the top of his lungs, gets in the ring, gets the mic halfway through, sets up our match, and we had so much fun. It was great. Me and Eric got chemistry. It's nice to have chemistry with these guys you work out with. Then finally, my 100th match for CSW. The training academy that helped mold me into what I am today, helped me become the wrestler I am today, helped me just build confidence, because there's been those classes where I'm like, I fucking suck. Or like, God damn it, I should know this by now. Or like, just all the frustration, all the bullshit, all the hard work. And I had the fucking match on the main card. I'm like, all right, let's see what happens. And then get told, you're either in this 6-man tag or you're in this scramble. I haven't figured it out yet. Then he goes, all right, you're in the scramble. I'm like, wrestled Sierra, Marco Anthony, Mario Pardua, Joey Mayberry, and Trent Hammer, who is a student of Eugene. Eugene was there that night, and I got to save him from Chris Miller, that bastard. So, no, it was fast-paced. It was fun. We were supposed to go 8 minutes. We went 5.5. Whoops. And I apologize for that. I was like, hey, what can I do? What can I know there's 6 of us, so it's like for all of us to collaborate and agree, it's difficult. But like, I asked, I was like, is there something I can pitch? Or like, what should I do to be like, what if we had this? Or, just be assertive in that kind of in that kind of group setting. But that's all she wrote. 100 matches. I had my 101 first match day after in Michigan. I had my blow off with Trog, or at least that's what it looks like at the moment. I'm not sure. I'm not 100%. We'll find out when I go back in December. But a lot of kayfabe has been broken on this podcast. And I apologize to any of the vets who may take offense, may find this a little too revealing. But I felt that celebrating 100 matches is a big deal, especially when you're 2 years in. Because PPW ran weekly. So, yeah, it ran weekly, but they wouldn't let you branch out and wrestle other people and wrestle other promotions. So, obviously, we couldn't stay there forever. For a litany of reasons, that is a huge one. So that's what gave me that jump start for those first 40 matches or so. And 2 years in January, 100 matches already. It's wild. Crazy. Absolutely excited to see what the next 100 matches are going to look like. See where they're going to take me and such, where I'm going to be by that point. Because, the only injuries I've had was, like I said, that back injury, and then it led to me rolling my ankle, and I had to miss a week of PPW, but then, I came right back, did everything I could. So thankfully I haven't been plagued with major injuries. There was a show I missed. There was one during practice. Guy was giving me a roll-up. His legs were underneath me for some odd reason, as opposed to... And I just cracked and crunched over his legs, and it was fucking terrible. So I had to cancel on a show that I can't talk about because it hasn't aired yet. So, it's fun. All the fun. But, thank you so much to... Steve Boz, to Jason Hades, to Axel Rico, to Chicago Style Wrestling Academy, to Northland, Nathan People, to Crash Tested, Jed, to Eric Freedom in Michigan, to Jimmy Blaze and Powell in Rockford, to Steve Eisman, to all the wrestlers, AZZ, Shelly the Bombshell, Eric, Axel Abreu, Axel Rico, who I said earlier, Vic Capri, who's been really giving me notes and on a lot of shit, Cypher, Joey Mayberry, Mateo Valentine, Eric Schultz, Daddy Andy, fucking Sanji, Nick Diamond, fuck, a lot of those guys. Thank you. And I apologize if I forgot anybody. You can give me shit. You can message me. Gonzo, Inestra, Poncho, Eddie the Brewster Cruz, fucking Not Bad Chad, Connor the Core, fucking Effie, fucking DeShade, and Jayla Jade, and all the people in that scramble, Sierra and the CSW scramble, fucking God. I am just blown away that Trog, I keep fucking saying names. Trog, oh my God. Thank you, guys, gals, non-binary pals. Thank you so fucking much for 100 matches. Fans, you especially, for supporting me and reacting to me and loving me. This is a dream come true. And if it ended tomorrow, I can rightfully say, I lived my dream of being a wrestler. You know? If I get signed one day, I would be ecstatic. But we won't know till it happens. So, I want to thank everybody who listened. I want to thank you guys for listening all the way through. You can follow me on Twitter at DFB Greg Murray. Instagram, DFB Greg Murray. Facebook as well. Like me. You can check out my streams, Shellshock Network, on Twitch and YouTube, Shellshock Network VOD for all the old shit from Twitch. Thank you guys. Thank all of you. Thank you for everything. Now, let's have 100 more.